Hi, I'm Kieran Don, and welcome to the Kieran Don channel on YouTube. Yeah! The Socceroos are in the World Cup. There was many people who doubted they would make it. I was one of them, but we made it. I think we're the second last team to qualify. I think New Zealand versus Paraguay play tomorrow. It took us like 1,000 days. We really got the second chance draw here. We had to play pretty much the 8th place or something, South American team, Peru, who is ranked higher than us on the world rankings and had a pretty good couple of years. But you know, that good couple of years has now failed. You know, football is a religion there, and they didn't make it to the World Cup. So, because we like doing things hard. We played Peru in early hours of this morning. It was 0-0, went into overtime, still no one scored, had to go into penalties. And yeah, Andrew Redmayne is the hero. I never thought it was Sadak, but I don't dislike Andrew Redmayne. I'm glad he kind of got a bit of glory. I mean, he's won titles with Brisbane and Sydney FC in the A-League, but he still gets a lot of criticism, especially when he was the goalkeeper for the Western Sydney Wanderers. The Wanderer fans hated him. But anyway, I'm happy we're in the World Cup, and this is going to be good for the A-League, because the A-League has really struggled the last couple of years. But this video is not about the A-League. I'm going to make another video about the A-League real soon, but us making it to the World Cup is probably the best thing that can happen for the A-League at this moment in time. If we failed, if we didn't make it to the World Cup, it would have been bad. I mean, the good thing is a lot of players in the team were played this morning and hopefully will be in the World Cup, A-League based players. So it's good. And a lot of the ones who are based overseas started in the A-League. So the A-League is important, and I hope it doesn't fold. But there are harder times ahead than good times. But anyway, that's another video. My problem is the coach, Graham Arnold, the coach of the Socceroos. I don't rate him as a coach. This is actually his second stint. He coached a few years ago, and we had a terrible, terrible Asian Cup under him. They fired him and they brought him back. But I still don't rate him. I don't like his tactics. I don't like how he brought McLaren and Curtis Good, two Melbourne City players, and a couple other players over to play for the Socceroos, making them miss out in the World Cup, making them miss out on their grand final. Both those, Curtis Good and McLaren, both played in the grand final this year for Melbourne City, but they lost to Western United. Western United winning is another positive for the A-League, but that's another video. I think Graham Arnold could have left them behind and still would have had the same result. McLaren will be in the World Cup team without a doubt, because he's the best A-League striker going. He wins the top Golden Boot, highest goal scoring. He's won it for at least 2 years in a row, but he might have won it before that. And Curtis Good, who's a defender. I'm not sure if he'll be in the World Cup team, but I hope he does. He's a good quality defender. And, you know, it would make up for him missing that grand final win. They both got medals, but they just didn't play in the game. So, you know, at least they got medals. But, yeah, Graham Arnold. It's just tactic-wise. I don't like how there's that 18-year-old striker carving up in Italy. And he's going so good that the Italians kind of want him in that team. But, and everyone's like, hey, Graham, give him a Socceroo cap so we have dibs on him. And Graham Arnold refused to do it, saying you can't just walk into this team. Then he ended up putting a 34-year-old Uruguayan player, a 34-year-old player who was born in Uruguay but became Australian citizen. I forget his name, Fodatelli or something. He plays in the A-League. He gave him a cap over this 18-year-old. Just stupid. He keeps starting Mitchell Duke. He has this love affair with Mitchell Duke, the striker. He puts him more in all his teams. Mitchell Duke was the mature age player in the Olympic squad, because the Olympic squad's under 23, but you're allowed to have a couple of older players. Not no offense to Mitchell Duke, I wouldn't even have him in my top 5 best Australian strikers in the A-League. You know, McLaren, especially not over McLaren. McLaren's number 1 in the A-League, and I dare say maybe the best Australian striker that we have at the moment. You know, I'm not saying he's better than Viduka or Cahill. You know, I guess you could count him as a striker, though he started off as a midfielder. But keeps using Mitchell Duke and starting him. He hasn't scored. I can't remember the last time he scored. He doesn't even score in the A-League that much. I don't know why he keeps getting used. And he took Matthew Ryan, our captain, off for the penalty shootouts. I mean, tactic-wise, yes. And if we lost the penalties, that's what all everyone would have spoke about. And I'm glad because, like I said, Andrew Redmayne has been criticised a lot for his career. So it's good that he's getting some glory. And yeah, Andrew Redmayne went good. He did the little wiggle dance trying to put the strike off, which it's maybe not the most sportsmanlike thing. I mean, say that McLaren was about to take a kick and to get into the World Cup, and the Peruvian goalkeeper did that. We all just be saying, "Oh, that shouldn't be allowed. That shouldn't be allowed." You know, double standards. But like, yeah, Andrew Redmayne saved that important goal, that important penalty. But could maybe Matthew Ryan have done that as well? Like, he's the best goalkeeper in Australia at this moment in time by a mile. You know, he played for Arsenal for a little bit. I mean, Arsenal didn't use him as much as they should have, but he's a quality player. And what annoys me is, because I watch football, and you can tell I watch football because I don't call it soccer. I call it football. I watch football all the time. I watch the Premier League. I watch the Brusen League, the German League. Sorry, am I pronouncing bad? I watch the A-League, you know. I don't really find the Italian League or Spanish League that interesting. But the German League, I'm a season ticket holder of MacArthur FC, and I do watch a few Western Sydney Wanderers things. But anyway, that's not about me. So I'm a soccer fan. Grew up, my dad's English. Go for Derby. Derby got relegated. They got punished because they went bankrupt. Anyway, that's another story. And it's not because all these non-soccer people are raving about Andrew Redmayne, saying, they're thinking he's going to be our goalkeeper. I bet you when they watch the Socceroos' first game in the World Cup, they're going to be saying, why isn't Redmayne starting? Because he's not our best goalkeeper. He's our third-string goalkeeper. Matthew Ryan's better and younger. Andrew Redmayne's 33 years old. Matthew Ryan's 30. But saying that, I hope Andrew Redmayne does get to play in the World Cup a little bit. Maybe not starting. I feel sorry for backup goalkeepers. They don't get used much, especially in the World Cup. Bring them on. Like, if it's a game we're winning, bring them on. Even if it's for the 3 or 4 minutes of injury time, or we're getting smashed, if we're 4-0 down, just bring them up. Because what we got to lose? There's no coming back from 4-0 down in soccer. Well, very rarely does someone come back from 4-0 down in soccer. Extremely rare. I can't even give you an example. But we have a good squad. We have a young squad in the World Cup, and it's going to be good. We're in Group D. So the teams in Group D is France, who's ranked 3, third in the world. I think Brazil is number 1 and Belgium's number 2. Denmark is number 11. And Tunisia is 35. That's kind of a country that you only hear about really in the Eurovision Song Contest. That's the only time I really hear of them. But they're all ranked higher than Australia. Australia is 42 in the world. So France is gonna win this group probably. France won the last World Cup. They had the most expensive sporting team in the history of sporting team. If you had all the players from the last World Cup and add all their wages together, then there has never been, like all their club wages, there has never been a more expensive team. And they won. And they were really, really exciting to watch. But, and they will probably go pretty deep into the World Up this year, or at least win this group. But saying that, if anyone's going to crash and burn, early on, it'd be France. Because like, when France goes bad, it's not a train wreck. It's like a 10, 20 car pileup. You know, one of those massive traffic jams you see in America on the highways? That's France. I remember a few World Cups ago, the players all turned on each other. The coach had enough. He just stormed off in training once and didn't come back because he was just sick of the fighting. There was a player called... it's weird. There's a comment in it. Jan Vinilla. M, Villa. Arsenal were actually thinking of signing him, but he got substituted in the game and he didn't want to shake the player coming on's hand, so he walked off on the other side of the pitch. So wasn't anywhere near the player coming on. Arsene Wenger, who was the manager of Arsenal at the time, he likes signing fellow French players. He saw this and goes, no, that's not a player I want in my squad. That's disgusting. And Jan never played in the Premier League. He's playing in Greece now, and Greece is not really that much. Greece isn't that good of a league. It's slightly better than the A League, but I watched a couple of games of the Greek league, and yeah, it's not that good. So France will be number one, but I wouldn't say it is a group of death. To quote Jim Carrey in Dumb and Dumber, so there's a chance. Yeah, there's a chance. I don't think so. I think France and Denmark will be the teams that make it through, but who knows? Like I said, I don't think we're going to be first. We won't win this group. But we could come second, and that's all it counts. The top two teams in each group make it to the knockout round, so... yeah, well, that's all I have to say. We'll find out in November. It's going to be exciting. Australia is in the World Cup. We shouldn't have made it in the World Cup. And we're playing the World Cup in Qatar. And Qatar shouldn't be holding the World Cup. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. All the stadiums inside. Because it gets like 50 degrees there. And apparently then all the stadiums are going to get knocked down and given to poor countries or something. I don't know. England should have got the World Cup. The World Cup would have cost England hardly anything because the stadiums are all built. Like England has enough stadiums for the World Cup. If not, they have more stadiums than what the World Cup needs. You know, they got Wembley, they got that Olympic Stadium, they got where Chelsea plays, they got where Arsenal plays, they got where Manchester City plays. They even got Old Trafford, but apparently Old Trafford's not that good. It needs to be shut down for a couple of years and redone. But it still has a history, and they probably could have played a game there. And they're just... Tottenham has that brand new, crazy, ridiculous stadium, which looks awesome. Apparently, like, there's a beer that you can only get at that stadium, and they fill the beers up from the bottom. But anyway, and yeah. That's what I'm watching. That's all I'm talking about. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Please comment. Go Australia. We done it. I was glad. I couldn't watch it, but I was at work, but I listened to it on the radio. And half of my face is dark, so I look like I've had a hideous accident and I'm trying to hide it, or I look evil. Anyway, thanks for watching. Kieran Doughton, out.